Hello, this is Donnie Smith, and today we're going to show you how to locate some dents on this deck lid. You know, when a car gets faded like this and the paint's not in real good condition, you don't have the gloss and the shine that reflects the reflection to help you locate these dents. So we're going to show you a way that you can find these dents real simple. We started out on the front end of this car a long time ago, kind of ran out of time and money, and just now getting back to this point where we're going to work on it some. Anyway, me and Jordan and Jacob, my boys, we had started on the front end and still kind of in that point. We got the front fenders off. As you can see here, there was a bunch of rust on them. We took them off, and we've done some rust repairs on that, but we'll get back to that. We're just going to go ahead and have Jordan and Jacob show you how the steps that we need to do to be able to locate these dents so that we can find them. So we'll go ahead and get started.
Before we get started, we want to protect the panels, so we can put some tape right here, and this will prevent from, when we sand, it won't get on the panels. Or you could put some right here, and then you can sand it, and then it won't hit the panels right here. And it really doesn't matter on this, because we're going to be painting the whole car, and this is just a demonstration if you really were. When you sand it, you want to take long strokes like this, and you want to cross it. And this will help you find highs and lows, like dents in your body.
Also notice how I'm standing in a 30-degree angle in one direction. Now I'm about to go back and stand in the other direction. Okay, we're not really trying to sand a lot. We're just trying to sand enough to help us find the low areas. And another tip, when sanding with these blocks, is these get dirty fast, and you can really extend the life of the sandpaper if you rub them with a scuff pad or something to help keep them clean. So we've got this sanded. Now we're going to clean it off and see what it looks like. Well, you can see even a car with this faded of paint, it will help identify the highs and lows for us. For example, if you look right here, if you see in here where it's nice and level, you can see that the sandpaper has scratched all this. It's very important to use a block when doing this. If you just do this by hand, you can see right here that my hand would follow this big dent right here, and it'd all look like that even though it's not level and flat. But by using a block and cross sanding, it went over these areas and kind of left those areas unsanded, which makes it easier to see. Now if this is a glossy paint job, it makes it even that much easier to see it. But what we'll do now that we've found some problems with it, we know this is a low here. You can kind of feel of it and see what's wrong, and it's a dent. Right around there is the main dent, and probably including the indirect damage is going to come out a little further. So that's going to need to be pulled. And we can see right here there's a glossy spot, so we're going to fill of that. And yeah, there's a kind of a low area right here. Kind of goes like that. So that'll need to be straightened. See something here that looks a little different? If you fill of it, now we can feel there's a dent there. That's a smaller one that we probably never would have seen if we was just trying to look at it by eye. So it's right here. The reason I'm going out a little bit further, because this is the main damage part, but your indirect damage is going to come out a little bit further than that. I see another spot here, kind of glossy. And it's a real gradual, real shallow dent right here. It's a bigger dent, but it's not very deep. So on something like this, we could probably get by with just hitting this with some 180 sandpaper, then applying putty. And we'll block that out, and that'll be done. See another glossy spot right here? So that tells us there's a dent. So we'll have to pay attention to that. Now here's something a little bit different. Just with a little bit that I sanded, it also sanded through and shows me that there's a spot where it sanded through right here. So what that is, that's a high area. So we'll have to go down with that. You might feel of it good, and you might see a few spots that has a little bit of gloss to it, but after filling it, you know, it's just where, you know, you didn't sand it real good. A little bit of an area right there, probably be puttied and 180'd. In some of these areas, if there's just not much there, you make it even block some more and block it out, depending on how deep it is. Most of these are real minor. Right here's a glossy spot, and it shows a real shallow area right there. So anyway, that's what's the damage that we have on the deck lid, you know, from this body line up. So we've got a real shallow area. That one could be puttied. This one probably could be puttied because it's very shallow. If it's less than 1/8 of an inch, you can sand it with 180 and apply putty. And you can apply putty straight over the paint. Now, if you need to use body filler and pull it, that needs to be ground down to the bare metal. But we're going to take these a little bit further. I'm just kind of showing you what we have here, and I'm going to show you how to keep working that metal a little bit more. But anyway, that's what we have to this point. Okay, on these dents, we're going to show you some ways to repair these dents without like the stud welder guns and some of those tools, you know, the way you may do it at the house. Now this is actually a PDR tool, but if you had some type of a thin pry bar, you know, that could work possibly as well, because a lot of these dents, like this one right here, you'll notice you can't get to the back of it with a hammer and dolly because there's this brace right here. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to reach up under this with this tool. And again, it also works better if it has a lot of glossy, if it's a glossy surface, so you can really see what you're doing. So we might just put our hand here and kind of feel. I'm going to slip it under there and start twisting it, seeing where I'm at. And when you're doing this type of work, it's just a series of smaller pulls. You would never want to try to just pry this out in one pull. You're just going to stretch the metal. So I'm gently just doing a little bit at a time here. Kind of feel it and see where it's... You can see it working that metal up a little bit, little by little. I think I got in there a little bit too much, and get back in here. Okay, we've been working on some. I know it's still low. I've also put some highs in it, which you got to be careful of doing. Let's say you don't really know what point you're at. Now we're going to use a body file. We're going to file down to help us further identify the highs and lows here. So, you know, this is works better on older cars. If it's a newer car, the metal's real thin, and you may not want to use one of these body files because it actually takes away the metal. Now what this does is this helps kind of like what we was doing, level it. You see where it hit metal real fast. That indicates a high. It's shaving the paint off all around here, but there's still paint here, which indicates a low. So we may have to tap this down a little bit and continue working on this low area. Okay, we know this area was a little bit high, so we're just going to lightly tap that down in that area. And now we're going to refile it to see where we're at. I know it's not perfect at this point, but this kind of help us see what's going on. Another thing you can do to help identify that is use your block again. Let's see, I don't have any. 36 grit would work. I don't have that right here. But start blocking it out if you don't have a body file. The body file will just speed up the process a little bit. I'll send it. So you can see we start getting closer, still a little bit low in there. It's not bad. Probably at this point you could even grind and fill that. Looks like there may have been some body filler here at one time. We're going to continue trying to get that out a little bit. That's feeling pretty good. You can see it's a little bit high here. Actually, it's the metal. Still a little bit low. But not bad. That's good enough to add a body filler. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and grind this area out. I would keep trying to work it out, but that brace being right there is making it real difficult. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to grind this area, and you know, if you don't have all the power tools, just a simple drill does a real good job with the roll-lock disc on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drill it off, grind it off, and then we can prepare it for body filler. Maybe a little flatter. Okay, we've got it all ground down to metal, which is important. You don't want to put body filler on top of paint. The low areas in here, we went ahead and ground out extra metal so that we don't face getting the body filler on top of the paint. And also notice as we ground, we kind of layered each layer of this back so we don't have a real hard edge. To make this just a little bit smoother, we're going to go ahead and block it out just to make it that much easier for us when we go to completing this. So we'll go ahead and smooth that out a little bit. If you have a dual action sander, makes sanding a lot easier, feather edging these edges on here, but we're kind of showing you how, if you don't have a lot of these tools, how to do this. I'm going to get it like this on this edge. This is mainly right here is what we're wanting.